All right, let's unpack this. Today, we're jumping into a deep dive on, well, probably one of the most influential personal finance books out there. Definitely one of the most talked about.
For sure.
Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
A classic in many ways.
Exactly. And our goal here really is to dig into the core ideas, maybe find some surprising bits, and figure out how you can actually use this stuff to make your money work for you, not the other way around.
Right. And the book's power, I think, comes from that central story, you know, the contrast between the two dads.
Yeah, the rich dad and the poor dad.
Exactly. One represents that traditional path.
Yeah.
Get a good education, find a secure job, climb the ladder. Solid advice, traditionally speaking.
It's the expected route.
The expected route. But then the rich dad embodies this completely different approach, entrepreneurship, investing, really focusing on financial independence.
And that difference really sets the stage for looking at money, well, completely differently.
It challenges everything right from the start. Different mindsets entirely.
Totally. And it's those, mindset shifts we really want to focus on, like take his definition of assets versus liabilities. That's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
For most people, your house is your biggest asset. But Kiyosaki flips that, doesn't he? Can you break down his view on what an asset really is?
Sure. He keeps it super simple, almost brutally simple. An asset puts money into your pocket.
Yeah.
Period.
Okay.
A liability takes money out of your pocket.
Yeah.
So yeah, that house, the one with the big mortgage, the property taxes, the upkeep.
All the costs.
All the costs. He often argues that's actually a liability because it consistently drains your cash flow month after month.
Right. It's not generating income.
Exactly. Real assets, in his view, are things like maybe a rental property that brings in rent checks.
Okay.
Or stocks that pay dividends, or a business you own that generates profit. Without you having to be there constantly, it really forces you to rethink what owning something valuable means.
That is a huge distinction. And it really can completely change how you look at your own finances. It's not just what you buy, but what that thing does to your cash flow, like you said.
Precisely.
Which kind of leads us nicely into another core idea he pushes, right? The cash flow quadrant.
Ah, yes. The quadrant.
This isn't just about what you own, but how you actually earn your money in the first place.
Exactly. It divides income generation into 4 types. You've got E for employee.
Standard job.
Right. S for self-employed or small business owner. So like doctors, lawyers, shop owners maybe, still trading time for money, often.
Okay.
Then you cross over to the right side. B is for big business owners, someone who owns a system, owns a large company.
Right.
Think 500 plus employees. The business runs without them needing to be there day to day.
Right. The system works for them.
The system works. And finally, I for investor. That's where your money is working for you, generating more money through investments.
And Kiyosaki's point is that real wealth, real freedom comes from moving from that left side, the E and S,
Where you're paid for your time.
to the right side, the B and I, where your assets or your systems are doing the heavy lifting.
Exactly. And what's interesting is his advice, especially for younger people, is often work to learn, not just to earn.
Ah, okay. So gain skills.
Yeah. Gain the financial literacy, the business skills, the investment knowledge you need to eventually make that shift across the quadrants. It's about building financial intelligence first.
That focus on financial intelligence is huge. And it really connects to one of his, let's say, sharper criticisms, doesn't it?
You mean about traditional schooling?
Yeah. That school teaches you how to be a good employee, maybe, but not how to actually manage or grow wealth. It doesn't teach you financial literacy.
He's very direct about that. And that ties back to the mindset thing we started with.
Right. That shift from saying, I can't afford that or I can't do that, to asking, okay, how can I afford that? Or how can I make that happen?
Yes. That question, how can I, is central to the rich dad philosophy. It opens up possibilities. Instead of seeing lack of money as a dead end.
You see it as a problem to solve.
Exactly. A problem requiring creativity, new skills, finding opportunities. It's a proactive stance towards building wealth, tied directly to understanding assets, liabilities, and where your cash flow comes from.
So pulling this together for everyone listening, the big takeaways from Kiyosaki seem to be, first, get really clear on assets versus liabilities, what genuinely puts money in your pocket.
Crucial.
Second, understand the cash flow quadrant. Where does your income come from now, and where do you want it to come from? E, S, B, or I?
Right. And recognizing that moving quadrants often requires new skills, new knowledge, financial education.
Which, as Kiyosaki points out, you probably didn't get in school.
Likely not, no. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's really about taking charge of your own financial learning journey. It's intentional.
So here's something to think about then. A final thought for you, the
Yeah.
listener.
Given that the book really hammers home the idea that traditional education often falls short on teaching money management.
Where are you actually getting your financial education from right now?
And maybe more importantly, what's one practical step you could take, say this week, to start making sure your money is genuinely working for you instead of you just working for it?
That's a powerful question to chew on. Definitely something to consider as you move forward.